Listen up, people, because this is what it's all about. It's about that birth certificate when you're born. And it's not just about that, it's about when you're registered as well to the corporation. And this guy explains it. Here we go.
When the birth certificate is signed by the parents, they are signing over the child to the corporation. And the child actually becomes the corporation.
Well, we have discovered the fraud, and now to weigh in on all this is Lieutenant Colonel Tom Lennox. What say you, sir?
First off, I did see that specific video the other day. She's very good and right on target. When the birth certificate was created by Woodrow Wilson, we became debt slaves without really knowing it. When the birth certificate is signed by the parents, they are signing over the child to the corporation. And the child actually becomes the corporation. So every child born after 1918 has a birth certificate that makes them a slave for life and places their name as a corporation traded on the stock exchanges.
Unbelievable.
Globally. Now, it's not just the United States. It's Canada, the UK, Australia, with a little different twist, and New Zealand, that I know for sure are following the exact same script. Canada in 1933 became essentially the same thing that the United States was when Woodrow Wilson signed that document. I'm not sure it was a law. I think it's an executive order or some other such thing to create it.
Here's your 33, 1933.
So prior to that time, the family Bible was the recording of the birth of a child. And in the Indians, the Native Americans, they kept it by the moons and the years, the moons and the sun through the 13 months. So that goes back a little bit in history. When they created the Social Security system, they started to use people's own money to pay the bill. Now, the people's own money happens to be their piece as a corporate entity. Because you're traded in the stock market as a corporate entity, a significant amount of money accumulates over time. So that money can be used to pay your Social Security, and there's still billions of dollars left. I'm trying to think of what sequence. I got a bunch of notes here I did the other day to get myself. I'm going to put on my glasses so I can read them all. So we are voluntary slaves. We are the collateral as slaves. You're the collateral. If you go to court under maritime law, you are actually paying the judge out of your birth certificate money. It's fascinating.
Wow. Well, it's a trust, isn't it?
Sorry, I usually don't interrupt, but I need a point of clarification for myself and perhaps for our audience. That last statement, when we go to court, we move that little swivel bar, and you're over there in their territory, and you're facing this judge. Are you saying that monies that they've traded against our life force, our life's energy, through the birth certificate scam, that money's held somewhere, and they release some of that, and that's how the judges in part get paid? Or did I understand that correctly?
That's
Wow.
the judge. The judge's success in finding you as an individual, when you're inside the maritime law, that cage in the courtroom puts you as a dead man in front of the court. Because you're a corporation, you're not a person. And as such, when they fine you or they charge you, the court gets paid, because it's maritime law, not common law. Now, that's going to change over the next 6 months, and the judges are going to go ballistic, as will the lawyers. But that's another whole story, because
we'll have you back on in 6 months. We'll have you back on to unpack that as it unfolds.
So what happened when they created you as collateral and they made you a debt slave? They called you're a straw man. And by straw man, what that means is that this name in all caps, if you look at your driver's license, you look at anything you have, you'll see it in all caps. That means that that's the corporation.
Yep.
If you declare yourself a sovereign individual, then it causes them all kinds of problems, because they no longer have the corporation in front of them. They have an individual in front of them.
A living man,
in court.
Woman.
And judges don't want that. They want the corporation in there, because it's all based on commercial law. Okay. And I forget the initials, but it's the commercial law that they are operating on in that court, that then allows them to fine you, etc., not common law, which would mean as a sovereign, you are protected. You're not protected when you go to court. Anyway,
this should infuriate. This should infuriate every legal, tax-paying, law-abiding citizen. This should infuriate you. It doesn't mean you want to get.
Of course, it should infuriate us, but we just sit by and do fuck all. Pardon my French. I do apologise for my language, and when I do, when I re-record these videos. But it just angers me, because we just sit by and do nothing. Yet again, we got all this truth coming out, and we just do nothing about it. It's just, we should be ashamed of ourselves.
Angry and do bad things, but I mean, it's infuriating me to know that this big scam and this big lie, that the enemies that created and designed it over the decades now have all been profiting, while we've been hammered into the ground like a nail in a coffin.
So there you have it. Once again, more truth in your face. I just get lost for words, mate. I just don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to say anymore. It's just, it's just one thing after another, Mate, maybe the best thing to do is just live your life to the best of your ability. Live a constructive, positive life. Do no harm. Make sure there's no loss to anyone. Don't injure anyone. But even when you do that, you get negative garbage come into your life. So this is why I can't have it with people. I can't talk with people, because they're all programmed and conditioned, and they just think you're a bit of a lunatic when you start speaking the truth, because they don't know any better. It's like I cut the people around here. I say to them, it's because you haven't come across this sort of information before. The only information you've been fed is from the television and from the scripted newspapers and the news anchors, you know, and the lies which are buried in books. Hence the library, lies buried in books, you know, in history books and all other books, which, you know, it's all deceit and deception. Everything we've been taught is all major, deep-rooted deception. You know, we live in this inverted reality because it's been inverted for eons. So whatever they say, it's the opposite. It's duality. Anyway, I leave it there. So I just thought that would be a little bit interesting because he talks about the birth certificate and he sort of breaks it down a little bit. He could have went on a little bit more, but still, I'll find out where, you know, what this platform is. Looks like he does a podcast every now and then. The guy on the left-hand side. So yeah, have a good Sunday. What's it? The 14th, innit? Is it the 14th today? Bloody hell, my birthday soon. My birthday. My Earth Day. Yeah, 14th. 21st of June. I'll be 63 years young. Oh my days. Anyway, love and leave you. Blessings, peace and faith. Bye, y'all.